So, hey there, everybody. Shelley here, and I am so glad to see you all. We're up to 28, 29 folks in the in this Zoom call, and I imagine you're all here to learn about online parties, right? Sound good?
Yeah.
I sure hope so, that you're in the right place. So just a little bit of preliminary stuff. We're recording, so we'll make this available. I am Shelley Weeks, and I'm in the California Concord area, and on Monday I promoted my entire team to senior director, and it was a wonderful thing. And what I'm going to teach you tonight is really primarily responsible for us getting to this spot. So I'm super excited. I'm so excited that I'm probably going to be a little all over the place, so I'm counting on you guys to rein me in. And this is the first of 3 classes. We call this Zero to Hero, and the background on it was that nearly a year ago, our national executive directors, Sherry Carr and Nancy Francis, were just looking at the details about online parties. This was all pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, and looking at the explosive growth that was going on. And they just like, gosh, dang it, we want some of that. And this class is a result of that. And they invited their directors to participate in it, and I took it and ran with it and started offering. So I offered this class. I taught it myself last October and then again in November. Well, the surge that happened as a result of that is, I mean, gosh, a year ago we had 35 people on our team. We were struggling to make our minimums at $12,000 for an advanced director team every month. We just posted 3rd record-breaking month in a row at 49,000. We now have 4 directors on our team. Got 2 to 3 more about who have set their sights on directorship this month. So online parties, that's what we're going to talk about, specifically block parties. So this is the first of 3 classes. I do want you to use the chat to give feedback, to post questions in the moment, so that we can capture that. And like we did with the Director Bound program that just finished up, we will capture that chat and share it with you. The notes that I'm going to use for this class, I'm going to share those with you. In fact, I probably will have them open on the screen as I'm kind of going through things. I am going to share my screen and show you all kinds of resources. The concept with this 3-part class is, here's the way we're going to break it down. So today, with class number 1, is all about why to do online parties. I'm not going to spend a terribly long time on that, because if you guys are here, you obviously know they're rocking. How to book them and track them, the outline that we follow, and the content. We're going to talk about Post My Party, avoiding Facebook jail, and I'm going to show you some big picture examples of some of the parties that I have done in the last couple months that are block parties, and to give you kind of some food for thought. That's class 1, and we'll finish up with some questions and some homework, okay? Then next week, class 2, same time next week, we will talk more about the secret sauce to building relationships inside your parties that result in bookings and recruits. We'll talk more about systems and how to put a lot of the systems in place that we have available for you, how to deal with your games, the welcome posts, all those kinds of things that make your parties just explode with interaction. So we'll really dive into the what we call our Bible. It's a host coaching Bible that I'm going to share with you right after this class, and we're going to dig into it really deep and show you how to use it. Okay, that's class number 2. And then class number 3 will be all about those surefire recruiting and how to use this entire system to have to invite your hosts and do it all very smooth and simple. So how does that sound for an outline? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. All righty, very good. So just to kind of prelim this, to kind of let you guys know where those resources are going to be. Many of you just graduated from our first 2020 Director Bound program. And so we decided that we're going to use that Director Bound program Facebook group for all the future Director Bound programs that we're going to do, but also for these Zero to Hero trainings. So if you were invited to this Zero to Hero call, it means that your director or your recruiter thought enough of you, then they pretty much see a lot in you, and they are inviting you to join into this Director Bound Facebook page. And it is loaded with resources, and it's going to be the place where we share all of the tools and systems and techniques and things that I'm going to show you over the course of this class. So if you have not yet been invited to that group, I want you to let the person who invited you know, your director know, so that they can get you in there. And I'm going to share my screen for just a second. Can you guys see it? My screen?
Yes.
Okay. So those of you who've done Director Bound, this is what you're familiar with. It's called, right now it's called Get the More You're Looking For. I Need Help, because we need a good name for it to identify the fact that it's the Director Bound. We will do more Get the More You're Looking For events. This will be the place where the booking blitzes happen. And also if we run Zero to Hero again, it'll be all of that. So I do need some help from some of you creative folks about what we should name it. But I always am worried about changing the name on a Facebook group once you guys know where it is, because you might lose it and not be able to find it. So I'm going to grab, just real quick, I'm going to grab the link for this and pop it right into the comments, okay? So that you guys have it, you know where to find it. So that's where we will put a lot of these resources, okay? So, and that includes, you know, the Post My Party templates and all that good stuff. Okay, it's good so far. So this class is a lot. I know that we have some folks in this group right now who are watching this, and you're brand new. Where's Teresa? Is Teresa here? Where's my Tina? Okay, great. Whoever's got background noise, please hit your mute button so that we can all hear. I appreciate that. And so for you guys who are brand spanking new, I mean, some of you have hit the ground running and you're off and running, but some of you are like, okay, I'm still trying to get my feet under you. And I do want to preface this and let you know that as we get started, this is going to be a ton of information. And please realize that when you first start your Pampered Chef business, there's all this new terminology and technology, and oh my gosh, there's Facebook, and there's Consultants Corner, and there's Dash, and there's Post My Party, and oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Relax and take in as much as you possibly can, and know that your learning curve is going to go like this. It's going to be steep, and there's going to be parts where you're just like, ah, we were all there. Okay, raise your hand if you've kind of blasted through your learning curve and you've got these parties rocking. Christine's raising her hand. She promoted to director on Monday with, you know, over $6,500 with their brand new team of 6 people. So it is totally doable, and we are all here to help each other. And then this is going to kick off just this great big surge of learning with all of us. I will be sharing. So stick with it. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just kind of take it in. You'll see things that will be helpful for you as we proceed, okay? And the key with doing these online parties is sticking to it. It's commitment. So it's just like a job training for a brand new job you're doing. Somebody's got some background noise. Do we know who that is?
Might be Danny Daly.
Okay, I'm not seeing. So if you guys can hit the mute button, appreciate that. Okay, okay, it seems to have gone away, great. All righty, so there's been some impressive numbers with Pampered Chef lately. If you're not aware, oh my gosh, Pampered Chef has been just killing it lately. I mean, over 300% of normal last month in April. But I'm gonna show you just some of the actual real life examples of what doing these online parties, specifically the way I'm going to show you, has been resulting in. And I just actually shared this on the in the director bound page. Can you guys all see this chart right here?
Yes.
So this, I just added it, and take a look at this. We had a call with Jean Jonas the other day, and she shared this with us. These are actual numbers of growth between 2018, and it happens to be the month of May, 2018 to 2019. I mean, look at the one that's highlighted up here at the top. This person had one person on their team as of in 2018, and a year later had 118. They went from consultant to senior director. They went from 0 earnings per month to over $3,800. These are folks who implemented this. Here's under leader number 5, went from 52 people on their team to almost 300. Went from a $2,600 paycheck a month to over $10,000 per month. Our team could be on here. We started a year, and these numbers don't even reflect the explosive growth that we've had since February and March of this year. So you could take these numbers and triple them to actually see what's going on now. So I don't know about you, but I want part of that business. Do you guys?
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah, darn right. Okay. So that chart is on the page there for you to dive into it a little deeper and take a look. And what we do as we're getting folks, brand new consultants started with their Pampered Chef businesses, is we teach them how to do 4 parties at a time. And I teach that in my intro calls. Many of you have been on that intro call with me, and like it used to be where you'd say 4 parties at a time and someone would fall over. Now it's like, okay, that's good. Let's get to it, right? And here's how you do it. You basically, we're going to start off by just sort of looking at your calendar. And I want you to look at your virtual parties, your online parties, as cycles of 4. You do them in batches of 4. We know that Pampered Chef teaches us that for every 4, you add 1 more. That means for every 4 parties that you do, you can pretty much expect to add 1 new person to your team. And if you track that, you will find that that's pretty realistic. And as you get better, maybe for every 3, you'll add 1 more. So we teach folks to do these parties in batches of 4. And back last fall, when I was learning this system and we have to give credit, okay? I learned this initially from Stephen Joseph. Stephen Bruce, what's his last name, guys?
It's Drapalski.
That's the one. Thank you. Right? Who at the time was, at the time he was an advanced director. I've got it in my notes, and now he's a national executive director. And then we got some enhanced training on that same system from Becca Yon, who just promoted to national executive director. I do believe it was this last week. And that's where we've learned these systems. And we basically, as we're looking at doing 4 parties at a time, they were doing 4 parties like an individual Facebook party for this person, for this host, and another one for this host, and another one for this host. And Stephen was doing 10 of those a week, 10 individual Facebook groups, and working with all those hosts individually. We've taken it, and now we're doing those in block parties. So as I show you this, you have a single Facebook group with all of your hosts for the week in that one group. So it makes it simpler than when we were learning this last year. And the interaction is explosive as a result. And the whole concept is that you are coaching and your hosts who are doing the lion's share of the interacting and the posting in the party. Okay. So as you're doing 4 parties, here's what I want you to remember. And for those of you who are doing this, this is a quiz question for you. Post it in the comments if this holds true. For every 4 parties that you do, 1 is going to flop and crash and burn. 1's going to pop and be phenomenal. And 2 of them are going to be pretty average. Okay, does that hold true? If you're tracking it, you can see that, right? I had two parties that started, just two that started last week. One flopped, and one, the host has already signed up and got her parties going. Okay, but I track it, and I'm going to share and show you all the tracking that I do. But if you were to do that, if you were to start each week with 4 parties or more, and one of them just crashes and burns, that means you're going to qualify 3 parties. And let's just be conservative and say that your average is $500 per party. That means you're going to sell $1,500 per week, right? $6,000 per month, right? More if you want. Once you get the drill down, you can add more hosts. I'm going to show you a party that had 5 hosts from last week, the last couple weeks, and I'll show it to you, okay? All right, but if you are brand new, the way you start with 1 per week. In fact, if you're really brand new, you start with you as the host this week. And the glory of this system, doing the parties where we're all following the same schedule, we all start our parties on Fridays, we all are using the same template and content, is that pretty much whenever I get somebody who signs up to do Pampered Chef, I say, great, your kickoff party starts Friday, and I add them right into my party for the week with my hosts and have them invite their hosts and join right in. And before you know it, I've got 9 hosts in a single week, and that has happened. And I'll show you how that looks too. Okay, so far so good? Okay. So I want you to start, so you can go at your own pace. You can do 1 per week. You are, sets of 4 though. I want you to be thinking about that. Sets of 4, and maybe you do 1 set a week or 2 sets a month. You can decide. You can go at your own pace. But if you're trying to do just 1 host a week, remember that every 4, 1's gonna flop. 2 are going to be average, 1's going to be awesome. So you may end up having a whole month with just, a couple flops, and you'll never really get any momentum going. So do it scared, jump right in. If you guys have seen me do the training and I showed you my tracking and how I started last June, I started with 2 hosts a week. For a whole month, I was terrified. And before you know it, I finally got comfortable enough to expand to 4. Okay, now for those of you who are building a team, you are directors or you want to be a director, I'm going to give you a little pro tip. We have kind of a little, and I got this from Stephen as well, is that the secret to a green director team works like this, that you teach your whole team to do parties the first week of the month and the second week of the month. Then you take the 3rd week of the month off, no parties. And then you start up again the 4th week of the month. Now there's a really great reason for this, because there's a lot of steps and there's a lot of follow-up to do. And if you were trying to keep up every single week after week after week with hundreds of people attending your parties, you might fall behind. So that 3rd week gives you a chance to catch up. Okay. It's also,
I just want to tell you, thank you for saying that. Like, you know how happy you just made me feel, because I was literally thinking, I can't do this every week. I need
And
I was trying to figure out what everybody else was doing, because going from week to week, I was just like, there's no way. So thank you. I feel like
sure thing.
Permission to be human.
Absolutely. And you best, right? So maybe I've got folks on my team who the trick is though, don't do 1 at a time. Maybe you have 4 hosts the first week and you take the 2nd week off, and then 4 hosts the 3rd week, and then maybe do every other week, and you only schedule every other week. You best. Okay. But that is better, having 4 at a time, than doing 1 this week, 1 this week, 1 this week, and 1 this week. Because the glory of this system is that you do everything in batches. So whenever you sit down to deal with 1 host, you do all your hosts at the same time, so you're efficient, right? And similarly, if you do, what I was getting at is that if you do parties the first and second week and take that third week off, again, you're being efficient because you're going to go back to all your parties for the last several weeks and do all the follow-ups. That's your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's what you're doing that week. You're going to get good at that, aren't you? Your follow-ups are just going to be like, I'm just rocking. Because you're not doing some one week and then stopping and doing other things. And the next week, do some more follow-ups. And when you do things back to back to back to back, maybe all in a single day or all in that 1 week, you get really good at it. So you get very efficient and you
Shelley,
master those follow-ups. Yes.
I had a question. So you're saying try to book at least 4 people a week and do the first week with 4 and the second week with 4 and then take a break is what you're saying.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And that third week then is your follow-up for bookings, but it's also your follow-up for recruit leads. So that's the week you're having conversations with people about joining. And again, you get good at it because maybe you're following up with a whole bunch of people all in that 1 week rather than spreading it all out throughout the month. Okay. I ended up, and several of you are on this training right now. We ended up doing that because we had this party that started early in May, and Tina signed up and Pam signed up and Mary sitting right here signed up. And I was talking with several other people from the, so I batched them all together so that we could have the conversation about doing Pampered Chef together. It was the most efficient way to do it. And it worked great. Okay. Does that make sense?
So I have a question on that. So when you're saying that you group them all together, or you put them in a group chat like on Messenger or whatever?
I did. Yeah,
okay.
I absolutely did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was under the impression to do each host individually to make them feel more special, but that would make sense in a group setting.
So I'm going to show you the process. So you make a good point. When you start off with your host, and you're jumping ahead on me, good job.
Okay,
when you
sorry.
start off with your host, you're dealing with your host one-on-one until the party starts, and then you put all of the hosts for the week in one group.
There we go. Okay.
Any consultants who are learning, with any seasoned consultants who are still learning. And I tell that whole group of hosts, hey, this is my friend Eve. She's learning. I'm training her. She's going to join us and she's going to sit back and just watch. And then they see and go, oh, that's how she teaches people how to do it. So that it is the reason that we are growing so quickly, is because I've got all these folks who are learning what you guys are learning right now. And you, when we're done with this, you're going to say, can I sit in on your host group for this week? I have an 18-year veteran with our team who asks me every week if she can sit in and just be a fly on the wall. And that way she can see how I talk to those hosts, and she's learning week after week after week. She sold $4,300 last month after telling me I'm never doing those online parties. They're too impersonal. Okay. Shout out to Carrie Ann. Alrighty. So back to that example that I was giving you, is that week 1 and 2, you're doing parties. Week 3, you schedule yourself off. Directors, pay close attention. Your goal is to be green by the 15th of the month. Week 1, parties. Week 2, parties. Week 3, off. Week 4, you start your parties again. Then you decide, is my month looking good? If so, roll those parties over into the next month. Close them into the next month. If you're still struggling to get green that month and meet your requirements that you're trying to reach and your goals, then wrap those parties up and close them this month. And that's how Stephen Joseph teaches his director teams. And somebody nudge me, I'll post, I've got that written out and I'll post it in the Facebook group for you guys, okay? Okay. So I'm just going to show you real quick that I do a grid for each month, and it looks like this. Okay, if you've been in an intro call with me, you've seen this. I will actually share my screen and show you one on the screen so that you don't have to sit here. And if you see anything in my little computer screen world here that you want, make yourself a note and holler at me. I share all of my stuff. So this is what May looked like when I started the month of May. And I scheduled myself off that second week because it was my birthday. Okay. But this is our parties all start on Fridays. And I used to fight against this. Like, I don't want to be locked in a box and do the same thing as everybody else. Well, guess what? Get over that and do the same thing as everybody else, because then we can all share our systems. We can share all our tools. I can hand you my Post My Party templates, which start on Fridays, and you can just plug them in and use them. Oh, a brand new consultant can do the same thing. I sure hope Sandy is on this line. She joined us in the middle of April and kind of just got started, and was the top seller on our team with over $4,700 in the month of May in her first month. Sandy, awesome. So this is what the little grid that I set up for myself each month, April and May. These are the Friday start dates, okay, the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. And then these are my hosts, host 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can show you, I can pop out May and show you how it finished up, because I kept adding hosts into all these boxes. But this is actually just how I keep track of it. If you're using the tracker that I taught you, you just flip it over and get a pen and make yourself a grid. And these are your weeks, and these are your hosts. And that way you can see at a glance, where do I have spots? And that helps you just keep track of your hosts and your parties, okay? Very little tiny technique there. Okay, so those first bookings though, where do you get those? Well, that is a skill that you will learn and you will get good at. And in general, I'm gonna share a handout that Sherry and Nancy made for us. That it's a script, and you can use a script, absolutely. And I'll put that in the Facebook group for you. In fact, let me see if I can find it. So as I share my screen. So getting those bookings, we start brand new consultants as a host. And we walk them through with them as the host and you playing the role of the consultant, even if they're already signed up. And then we get bookings, and then they do it again the next week. And they might be a host for a couple weeks in a row until they get the drill down. And then before you know, and you're just feeding them the individual steps that I'm going to be showing you until a week, maybe a week in. Maybe they're rock stars and they're super fast. Maybe they need to run it through a couple weeks. But this little Google Docs right here that Nancy gave us and Sherry made for us, and it's basically, it's a message for new consultants to use. I'll share this with you. I am totally not a fan of scripts personally, but I know that a lot of folks need them when they get started. So it's like, hey, I'm so excited to share that I joined Pampered Chef. I've got a really big goal to do 8 virtual parties in the next month and 4 of them next week, and I thought of you. And so you can use this script, right? And there's, if you don't like that one, here's another one. And if you don't like that one, here's another one.
Where are these at again, Shelley?
I'm going to share this in the Facebook group with you. Okay. And then responses, when they answer, they're either going to say, yes, I want to be one of your hosts, or they're going to say no, or they're going to ask you questions, or they're going to come up with objections. And those things are finite. They really are only going to come up. They're either going to say, I'm busy that day. You ever get somebody who, this is my script, by the way, the way that I book my parties when I don't have any and I need to book some, I go back to my list and I send a message that says, hey, I've got an opening in my block party, Pampered Chef online party that starts this Friday. Is it your turn? That's all I say. That's my script. And I copy and paste and I send that to 25 people. And I expect, because it's super short and it doesn't tell them a lot of info, I expect them to come back with questions. And it's either going to be yes, no, or a question. So, you know, it might be, I don't have time. You go, oh, okay, well, no problem. Here's your response. No problem. Do you have your cell phone with you? And do you have 5 to 10 minutes a day to post stuff that I'm going to hand to you? Yes. Well, that's what my hosts do. How does that sound? And so there's a process to booking the parties. And if you are brand new or you're stuck and you don't have bookings, you want to take a screenshot of the conversation, if somebody stumps you and you want to send it or post it in our group, send it to the folks who are more senior than you so that they can help you with answers. But the trick is not in the words that you say to get bookings. It's in offering to enough people. It's absolutely in offering to enough people. Now, if you have been in the director bound, or if you are on my team, or if you've done an intro call with me, you know for a fact exactly how I teach my team how to do this. And it's in the follow-up. And so I'm not going to go over this again, but I've recorded it and I've done it. And I do have an intro call tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with 2 brand new people. And I will be doing this training on this again if you want to join us. But this is the tool that I use. And you guys all raise your hand if you're using it. It's our tracker. And for a whole page, highlights are the bookings. And it's follow up, and you're just checking back. It's not about the words you say. It's about going back and offering it again. Okay, so you fill your calendar. We do booking blitzes to help you do that. And if you're stuck with getting bookings, reach out because we'll work really closely with you to help you. But that tracking system was taught to us by, I think it's Christine Richardson, and then Stephen Joseph taught it, and Becca Yan taught it, and everybody's using it, and it works if you use it. So, okay, any questions so far?
I do.
Good?
I have a question, Shelley.
Yeah.
Would it be a problem, like, if I put my name out there, so like at my husband's work, if I can just put like a flyer and let him know that I'm a Pampered chef consultant and put my website on there, and then put a little thing if they do want to host a party to get a hold of me. But is it still okay to just give them my website and let them shop with me even if they don't host parties?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, most definitely. And this is one type of party that I'm showing you right now, but there are so many others. I mean, there are catalog shows where somebody simply takes a catalog or a link and goes and lets their friends collect orders.
Okay.
So,
I just did a texting party, and that one was over it was over $500, and it was all via text.
just via text. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
I just shot text messages to my
Right.
host, and she sent them out to her people, and she did over $500 and nothing but texting.
Awesome. So this is the way that we start new folks. And the party that I'm going to show you, the block party on Facebook, you can take it and run with it and do all different kinds of versions of this. But take a look at this. And if you've got folks who just want something faster, there's timeline parties, there's express parties, there's text parties, there's catalog shows, there's so many, there's Zoom, there's YouTube, there's FaceTime. There's so many ways that you can do parties. You get everybody on a little screen just like this, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and open up a Zoom link and cook from your kitchen or do a happy hour, okay? But a lot of what I'm showing you is still going to apply because this is how you get a lot of engagement and interaction going. And you can take and pluck a lot of these tools out of this, okay? Does that help? All right, very good.
I have a question for you.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you do these parties off of your business page in events or groups?
These are groups. Thank you for asking. And there's a reason for
Off
this.
your business page, right?
Yes. So when you set this up, number one, and go into Dash, it has a very simple explanation for how to set up a business page on Facebook. It is 4 steps. It's super simple. And then from your Facebook business page, you create a group. And in the group, that's where the party is going to happen. And mine is called like the one that I'm starting tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's June 5th. It's called our June 5th Sizzling Summer Pampered Chef Online Party. That's what it's called. So that it doesn't say Sally's party or Sally and Jane's party. I want to have it flexible enough that I can add a whole bunch more hosts between now and this weekend. And that actually happens. Okay. But Facebook has regulations that they require, if we want to do business on Facebook, you must do it through your Facebook group. And over the course of this class, I will give you some pro tips on how to do that and make it make sense. Rachel, you're raising your hand and you're muted. Go for it.
I think Carol doesn't have herself muted. That's where we're getting Carol King is the background there. So there she goes. But I do have a question. So
Sure.
one of the slight problems that I ran into with doing it on groups and having several different hosts is this. It's happened to me twice now, where somebody from host A accidentally orders from host B because they accidentally clicked on the same link or the wrong link. So I've tried my best in the announcement post to make sure.
Exactly.
If Susie B is your host, make sure you're ordering Susie's link. If Jane is your host, make sure you're ordering from Jane.
Right.
Finding that they're just clicking and then they order it. Oh yeah, I ordered it. I'm like, oh, you ordered.
Well, luckily enough, your orders are sitting there in your cart and you can catch that and you can move it. It's rare. If it's happened to you a couple times, that's amazing, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. I have had 5, 6, I've had people say, do I get to have my party as one of those block parties with other hosts? They're so freaking excited over that.
So my question is when you ladies and gentlemen, David, because I know David's done block parties. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Is there something that you guys are putting in your announcement post to like, I mean, I feel like sometimes I feel like I give too much information in that announcement post.
Nope.
I think people read it because, you know, it'll actually show you like how many people have seen it, you know, and I like 80, 90 guests at my party, but it's like only 27 of them.
Yeah. You know, no matter what you do, there's going to be people who they're under stress right now. They're not paying close attention. And no matter how many places you put that, you're going to have people who say, where's the link? Right? So just roll with it and just be prepared for that. You know, as you do more of them, I'll show you all the ways that I set it up and all the places I put it. I'll open up one of my parties here in a second. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. We're going to need more time. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you and you guys can see my notes here, but I do want to show you, here is the outline for the party. Here's the schedule for the party. And this happens to be, I give this in a picture to my hosts and I have them post it, but this is the way it rolls. Fridays and Saturdays are what we call the pre-party. There's not hardly any conversation about any products. This is all getting people interactive and getting to know you, lots of interaction. And Sunday and Monday is all about new Pampered Chef products. Tuesday is about power tools. Wednesday is favorites. And Thursday, we close up the party.
I'll smash them. Can you just?
Okay, so that's the way we roll. And when I share my templates, that's the format we're using. Was somebody asking a question?
No, Rachel was talking.
Oh, sorry.
I'm muting you, girl. Okay, got it. Alrighty. So, but there are, as you get started, there are 2 really critical first steps that you do with all of your hosts. And if you're on my team, we've drilled this up one side and down the other, and you guys can tell me exactly what they are, right? In the comments, right? In the chat. The first is take my VIP host survey. I've got it on my screen right here. And that's this one right here. So will you take my VIP host survey is the first step. And the second step is you have them go and look at a really good party and a sucky party. And you have, as soon as you book a date with your host, these are the first things you have them do, even if they're booking for a month or 2 months from now. And what happens is that this is pre-qualifying. It's almost like it's training your host to be a good host. Because when they go and you give them the link for a good party and a bad party, and you're sending them off to Facebook, it's demonstrating to you that they know how to join a party and find it if you give them a link. And they know how to scroll around, and you're asking them to just review it, take just a minute, and tell me why you think one was good and one was bad. And you may need to nudge them a little bit. if you've been a host with me, or if you're a new consultant, you know you've done this and you know it works, that when they look at a good party and a bad party, they're going to come back and they're going to say, oh, the good party, you know, everybody was interacting, there were tons of people going, the host was super engaged, right? And you go, super, what about that bad party? And they go, crickets. Okay. And then your final question to them is, wonderful. By the end of your party, which one of those hosts do you want to be? Okay. And and sometimes I'll even say, this is a trick question, but they're going to say, of course, I want to be the good one. Great. You have just trained them on what they need to do to have a great party. So that step right there, and that's the script for it. And I actually will put that in my phone as a text replacement because I use it so often. Does anybody use text replacements in your phone? That's a pro tip. That's one of those tips for this whole thing I'm showing you, is putting the scripts that you're going to use in your phone so that a couple keystrokes and that whole paragraph just pops in. Make yourself a little to-do list to look up text replacements if you're not doing that. But the host, then the other step is taking my host VIP survey. And basically this is them giving you their information. So this is it. And it starts with email, and there's some fun pictures. What's your name? What's your address, phone number? What's the date of your party? Who did you book it from? Who's your consultant? Because I do give this survey to my new consultants to use with their first hosts. Contacting you, what type of show? How many friends do you have on Facebook? Okay. How much in host credit are you looking to earn? If they're clicking this button right here, over $165, you know they want a nice big fat party, right? What are your top 3 wish list items? Tell me about your friends and family, and then bonus questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in trying on the apron? Tell me right from the beginning, okay? What would you do with an extra $250 to $2,000 or more a month? Okay, this is my host info survey. This is in Google Docs, Google Forms. If you haven't made one, I have one for my hosts and one for my customers. They're very similar, but if you want to see mine, I will post it in the Facebook group for you. And what you want to do is you want to model it and make your own. But if you share my link with folks, I will get your answers. So make your own, okay? All right, you can use mine as a model, no problem, but do make your own. All right, love the Google form idea. So far, so good, okay? All right, so those are the first 2 steps you do with your hosts. And if your hosts won't do those steps, you nudge them a little bit, but you know what? That is a red flag. You don't want to waste your time. There are hosts out there who are going above and beyond, and they're absolutely so excited about hosting. If they won't do just those 2 first steps, move on. And guess what? Every once in a while, if you do that, you say, you know, maybe now's not the right time for you to have a party. All of a sudden, as you pull it away from them, they will chase you and go, oh, okay, no, I want to do it. Okay, so try that out. It's a very, very good technique. Okay, so those are those steps for your new host. And then you do start, so remember I showed you that schedule, and the parties start on Fridays. But you start working, so you do those 2 steps with them when they book their date. But the week that their party is starting on Friday, there are steps for them to do Tuesday and Thursday and Friday to help them invite for their party. And they're very doable, reasonable, little tiny steps. And you do those steps with every host, and you watch as the numbers in her party increase. And then Friday is when the party starts. 2 days of pre-party, Friday and Saturday. Okay? And at that point, because you've worked individually with your hosts, one-on-one in a Facebook messenger, but on Friday morning, you add all of your hosts into one group and you introduce them to each other, and you say, hi guys, these are our hosts for the week. I want you guys to meet each other. This is the group, the Facebook message group, where I will give you what you're going to post each day. and there will be something different for each host. Can you imagine if you had 4 hosts in a party and each one was posting something fun and interactive every day, and folks were all commenting and interacting on each of and their friends didn't know each other, right? I've actually had people who are like, oh my gosh, I know this person from this other host party, and they become friends and they're sharing recipes. It's amazing. It really takes on a life of its own. Would you like to see an example? Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
great. I'm so glad you said yes. Let's go look at a party from April. Okay, and we're gonna open this up here in just a second. See if I can find it. All right. I just need to, I've got all these things in the way. You ever do that? Okay, let's go to, now I will put in a plug for being consistent with the way you do your naming on your parties. If you notice, when I type up here in Facebook, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
type in the word hour, and then all these parties come up. 5/22, May 22nd, May 1st, 4/24, 6/1. You see that? Those are all my parties. Because I'm consistent with the way I name them, I can find them easier. Okay, so there's a value to that. The one I'm looking for is April 17th, and there were 3 hosts in this party, and it happened to be the theme of the party was cabin fever reliever. When March and April we were doing cabin fever reliever parties. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to answer Rachel's question about, I think it was Rachel, about all the ways that you show folks the different parties and whose host has which link. I just clicked on the banner and it says, welcome. When shopping or making a list, use your friend's link. Here's Joyce's, here's Kim's, here's Heather's. And it says, want to be a host? It's so easy. Okay, so as I show you some of my past parties, you're going to see a lot. Don't be overwhelmed. Okay, if you are brand new, you will work up to these steps. But there's a description right here. And so I have this text for the description, and I use the same text every single time, the verbiage, right? Welcome all, this is a cabin fever reliever party hosted by Joyce, Kim, and Heather, and facilitated by me. When making a shopping list or wish list, use your friends' links, and there they are. Okay.
So I have a question. Is it easier just to do one page and then have like a bunch of links in it then to keep track of it instead of doing separate pages?
Group. So the terminology you're looking for is a group,
Okay.
because a page on Facebook is something different. A business page is you as a consultant want to go make a Facebook business page. Here's mine. It's called Cooking Classes with Shelley. And I've been doing Pampered Chef for a while. I celebrate 20 years next month in August, but this is mine. I do not spend very much emphasis on my Facebook business page, but what I use it for, see, I mean, April 18th was the last time, I think it was the last time I posted on here, but I went in live. So I do some things in here, but you click on groups and you make your Facebook parties in groups from your Facebook business page. Okay, look at this.
Shelley, we're only getting half of the screen.
Are you guys getting half of the screen?
I've got
Yeah,
the whole
it's
thing.
not,
See the whole thing?
Okay, I think it's that might be a function of your browser trying to keep
You have
up.
you have to minimize people's photos. If
There you go.
The side
Yeah.
of her screen, you can make it bigger. Just minimize their photos.
So on the Zoom screen, you can click, there's options up at the top that will move all of us off to the side, okay? Right, or minimize all the participants in this group. But as you're looking at a list of my groups, and these are all parties, Teresa, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I mean, you can see even back and look at the number of people, 99, 54, 60, right? Some of them were bombs. This one has that's my VIP group. This one right here has up to 134 people.
I think that's where I was confused when we had that conversation was
Yes.
I had that party page set up through Crystal, and then she went ahead and took herself off and made it my VIP page.
Right.
And then I thought through that is what I can do. I didn't realize you have to do the business page, and then in the business page make groups.
Right. Or if you've made it and you didn't know to do your Facebook business page, all you have to do is go into settings, go into edit settings, and link your business page.
Okay.
Easy peasy. Okay. So that's one of those little pro tips that a consultant who hires, or, you know, who has a recruit and you're helping them, the consultant may set up their first group for them from their business page. And then once you've got your feet under you, she's going to unlink and have you link yours. So there's some background stuff that you'll learn that you'll get better at it. Don't worry, you'll get better at it. And you keep asking those questions, so it's all good. Okay. So I was doing R417. This was a party. It's got 81 people in it. I clicked on the banner to show you. I showed you the description, and we're going like backwards in time. So this was May 16th. I was posting about the delays in shipping and helping them with shipping. But if you look, like there's a post about thanking them, one of the hosts, for a good party. I'm going to scroll through though. There's a game, and I'm going to show you, there's the prize winning. Okay. And I do a prize for each. I'm trying to give you a big picture right here. Okay. All right, Charlene was asking about the winners. Okay, this was Heather, was actually one of the hosts, and she signed up. So this was her kickoff party as well as my host's party. Look at all the interaction and the stuff that's going on though, right? There's a ton of interaction going on in here. And just giving you a feel for it, okay? So let's look at one of those, let's look at one of those hosts from that party. And you can see, remember what I was talking about? I have these individual hosts that I'm working with for the party that starts on Friday, and they're all gonna be in the same party. But I start off at the very beginning working one-on-one. Joyce is a great example. She was in that party that was for April 17th. She had a $2,200 party. And if you look at the conversations, so the Facebook Messenger ends up being super valuable because all of your conversations have a date and you can go back and look. But look, my conversations with her from 2013, 2014, we're talking a number of years ago. And she was on here, guys. And I kept following up with her, right? I'm like, no, I don't think I want to have a party. You know, she placed an order here or there. She said, no, thanks. We're at 2015. This is all my interaction with this $2,200 host, who is the friend who introduced us to Sandy, who joined, and her party was the next week, her kickoff. And she's on our team on this call and did $4,700 last month, right? But here you can see, as we come up to current time here, she booked her party. And if you look at it, you can see the parts that I'm talking about. I said, super excited to help you. Will you take my VIP host survey? Okay. And then will you go and look at 2 parties, a good one and a bad one? And she did that. Okay. And then she's asking me questions. Look at that. I said, here's what to expect for the party. I just showed this to you guys. So there's steps along the way, and you send these to your hosts. And she said she wanted a catalog. How many do you want? And then here's the some other pieces that I send to those hosts. I said, here's your exclusive online ordering link. That's how her friends order. I say, keep it and share it a lot over this next week. I said, then when you start to give her her Tuesday step, her Wednesday step, and her Thursday step, and these are all outlined in the Bible. We're going to go over in more detail next week. Some of those details and instructions are fairly long. And so I say to her, I say, okay, are you ready? I've got your first instructions. This is long, but really important. And there it is. And this is the Tuesday instructions. And I send this to every one of my hosts, boom, 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 all of them in separate messages. And it says, basically you want to invite I've added you to the party, and you want to start adding your friends. You want to add over 300 people, okay? And here's why. And it explains the why. Because when you add 300 from your friends list, usually 75 to 100 will decide to join. And then from there, 12 to 13 will actually order. And people don't see their invitations the first time, the second time, the third time. But here's the stats. If you have 16 to 30 people going, you'll get $20 to $55 in free. If you get, so it's all laid out to explain exactly, here's why I'm asking you, and here are the numbers behind it. Okay. So trying to just give you an example here. Is this helpful to see this actual conversation with the host?
Yes.
So far, so good? Okay.
Yeah,
And
Shelley,
then-
are you going to be able to share? Are you going to be sharing like what you say to them and all like the verbiage?
Precisely. Every
Thank
single
you.
thing. Yes.
You're a godsend.
So,
Thank you.
Yep. And that's why instead of us just doing this call and then me saying, okay, bye guys, I have invited you all to join this Facebook group. And that's where, once we're done tonight, I will share the resources I'm going over right now. And then as we all talk about it and engage and ask questions, and the folks who are already using these will answer, and you guys, your learning curve will just explode. So take advantage of being in that group. That was a special ad that we just we gave you. Okay.
Excuse me,
All right.
Shelley, are you going to be putting that all like on the Get the More page, or are you going to? Okay.
Yep. It's the Get the More you're looking for. It was the page, the group, Pampered, no, sorry, Facebook group that we used for Director Bound is what we're going to use for this purposes. Okay. All right. Does anybody use the snipping tool to send screenshots? Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
This
Yeah,
is
you taught me that, Shelley, a million years ago.
such a
I
great
used
tool.
to use print screen from my computer, put it into Paint, save it, and then send it. And then I saw you using the snip tool, and I said, "What the heck have I been doing this whole time?"
What the heck, man? Yep, exactly. So it's
I'm
right
gonna
down
put it
here.
in.
If you have a PC, type in snipping tool, and it's right there. And pin it to your taskbar and pin it to start. And it looks like a little pair of scissors. And when you click on it and you say new, I can actually just grab a picture. So now this is a picture, and I can hit the highlighter and I can highlight stuff, and then I can do Control-C for copy and paste and send this in a message or in a, it's like doing the print screen on your phone and then marking it up, and then it saves it to photos. So play with it. But if you have questions about it, let us know. It is very effective. But look what I do. I take a screenshot. When my host starts inviting, she has 29 people going and she's invited 240, and I circle it and I show. So I've taken a screenshot from the party and send that to her in a message, and I cheer for her. Come on, guys. It's just like your children. You cheer and celebrate the things you want them to keep doing, and the things that they're not doing well, you ignore those things, right? So every time these numbers keep increasing, and I keep my eye on these numbers, you make sure to bring it to their attention. So as you look at any of my, if you'd like to be added to some of the past host groups, for example, you'll see I send these little screenshots again and again, right? I tell her some of those extra little tips is you are driving that tip about changing their notification again and again and again. If you guys go to that Get the More You're Looking For Director Bound page, you will notice every time I did a welcome and welcome new people into the group, I said, don't forget to change your notifications to all posts so you don't miss a thing. When you start a block party, Joyce's friends see things she's posting. Sally's friends see things she's posting. Harry's friends see what he posts. You give each of them a picture of instructions for how to change their notifications, and you have them post it so their friends see it. And as people change their notifications, now they're seeing what I post. And they're seeing what each other is posting. And so your party takes on this life as more. So if you've got a dead party, you need to go back to this and make sure your host is posting a note in the party to say, change your notifications to all posts. Okay. And you need to do it again and again and again until you start to see the interaction. Okay. So this is, this was a $2,200 party, and it was super fun. And we've had a lot of those lately. I'm going to show you just real quick. I'm going to show you one that happened recently, more recently. So this was in May. This was a spring fling party from May 15th, and we happened to have hosts here: Pam, Tina, Sue, Beth, and Richard. And a bunch of those wonderful folks are on this call right now because they all signed up, and this party morphed into their kickoff. Hold on while I tell my children to shush. Hey guys. Okay. They realize, like, oh my gosh, everybody on the line is hearing us. But if you look at the interaction on this party, there's 161 people going. And let me just show you some of the posts. Here's one of the hosts. This is one of the fun things I gave her to post. And look at, 18 comments on that. There's somebody saying thank you for the invitation. There's some of my things. There's Sue, one of the hosts, is posting a fun Scrabble game, and there's 36 comments on that. Are you guys having this kind of interaction in your parties? Okay, here's
I was the host.
some of the hosts thanking folks for their orders. Then there's some of the content. Now, and as we kind of start to wrap up here, I'll finish up with just one little comment about this. Do you, as you're starting and doing your own parties like this, do you have to like come up with that spring fling and all the content and all the things that you're going to be posting? Anybody know the answer to that? Is that freaking you out a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Okay. The answer is no. You don't have to come up with it all. And if you're freaking out, you can stop. Because if you are following the same schedule and the same outline, we can hand you the content. So we use a posting service called Post My Party. Raise your hand if you're using Post My Party. And in the comments and in the chat, tell us how easy or how difficult was it to use. Mary joined us and she goes, are you guys using Post My Party? She was a brand new consultant. She goes, oh my gosh, yay, that's great, right? And then I shared my templates with her. And then she went through and made some changes to make, anywhere it said, hi, I'm Shelley, she's changed it to Mary and customized it and made it her own. Would you like to see Post My Party? Do you have another, yep, do you want to see it?
Yes, please. Yes,
okay.
please.
So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna go over to Post My Party. And it is Post My Party, all one word. And this is it. And if we click on templates and our list, you're going to see that I have a lot of templates. Okay. But I'm going to flip ahead. So these are all my templates. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you. So we had cabin fever ones. We've got summer. We have grilling. We've got Christmas and Thanksgiving. Gosh, do you want to be connected to us when it comes time for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's parties? So you don't have to go search for content. This is one of the main reasons why our team is growing so much, because we all use the same systems, and this is that. So let's take a look just real quick. Right now we're doing, I call them, it's kind of like the spring summer 20. So it started with the new products that launched in the spring. But remember what I told you. The pre-party is Friday and Saturday. So that's a single template. Then the Sunday and Monday is new products. That's another template. Then Tuesday is power tools. And then Wednesday is favorites, and we wrap up on Thursday. So there's an individual template for each day, which makes it awesome, because let's say that you don't want Tuesday to be power tools going forward. Maybe you want it to be grilling. You don't have to change your whole template. All you have to do is pluck out that Power Tools template and put in the grilling one, or camping, or summer, or something like that. Let me open one up and I'll show you what it looks like real quick. So when you get this, and yes, I am going to share my templates with you guys right there. That's worth the price of admission, right? So when you click the link, it's going to open up and it's going to look like this. Here's the very first post that's scheduled to go the very first day, day 1 at 8 a.m. And it's me and my husband and my family, right? And it says, hi guys, and it tells a little bit about me. You're going to come here and you're going to take out the stuff about Shelley and put in the stuff about you. And you're going to change out my cute little pictures, unless you want them to introduce me to them. You're going to take out my pictures and put in yours. Okay? And it's very simple. There are tutorials when you first get into Post My Party. Yes, Post My Party costs $10 a month. It is the best money you will ever spend. Okay? But as you go and you do it, this is a super smart program, because look at, there's a gift with purchase. That's the second one. And the way we have it set up, if you look, I'm going to go back to this template. Look at the schedule. The first post goes at 8 o'clock, the next one at 8:02, and the next one at 8:03. If you scrunch them together like that, the folks in your party get one notification when all 3 of those posts go. Then later, we've got a 12 p.m., 12:01, okay? You want to follow this format, 12:02, 12:03, then 4 o'clock. So basically you're getting posts at 8 a.m., noon, 4, and 8 p.m., and that's your day. And folks will get 4 notifications. They won't get peppered with notifications. If you think that you want to, sketch this out and do one every 10 minutes, they'll get a notification for each one of those posts. Okay? So this will take some kind of like looking at it and kind of going through it. And you want to be really familiar with your own template. So yes, when you first get this, you want to look at it real thoroughly. You want to go over it. When I share this with you, it's going to be in a note in Evernote, and it has information up at the top. It says, here are my current Post My Party templates. Don't share them, okay? And make sure you change them to reflect your style. And that keeps us all out of Facebook jail. All right, I'm gonna go back to this for just one second. Do you see, as I'm looking in Post My Party, see all those green check marks? Post My Party is gonna do everything possible for you to help you follow Facebook's rules against spamming folks. And so it has a content rating. Before you schedule this template to run into a party, you want to check for any warning signs like that, because this is Post My Party saying this particular post, ding, 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 this might get you in trouble with Facebook. So you need to go fix it. Fixing it is super simple. I'm going to fix it right here as you watch. And you may fix it one day and the next day it has another warning. It means a bunch of other people were using that same post. So you need to change it. And it may really be as simple as changing a punctuation. It says recipe sharing time. Post your favorite springtime. You know what? It's not springtime anymore. Summertime recipes. Bonus tickets if you include a recipe for us. And then I give them 4 different recipes. I go down here and click update and go back to template. And I don't have a warning mark anymore. I've got a green check mark. That's it. You just need to make little changes like that. Go down to the bottom and click update. And your template is good to go. So you check your template and then you schedule it into your party. Okay, is that helpful?
Yes.
Very helpful.
Okay, good, good. When I share this with you, you are going to see I happen to use Evernote. And if you're not into Evernote yet, you don't have to have Evernote. All you have to do is click on my link. And so when you see it, it's going to say, here are Shelley's Post My Party template. Okay? And you're going to click on it and this is going to open. And this is a screenshot. So there's instructions up at the top. And does this look familiar? Here's what to expect. This is the most recent set of templates. They're now called summer. They just changed from spring. All I did was change the word spring to summer. Okay. And if you've got great summer content, you start dropping it in there and making this your own, but you can start with mine. And here's a screenshot of, there's the pre-party, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Though there's 4 templates. Scroll down and here they are. Here they are. There's the Friday, Saturday one. Click that link and it'll open. Here's the Sunday, Monday one. Click that link and it'll open. Here's the Tuesday one, Wednesday, Thursday. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's it. Those are them. They're at the top. But guess what? Scroll down. There's the cabin fever outlines and there's details about them. Scroll down. There's the new products when we first came out with them in March. There's the discontinued items and new products. Let's see, let's keep going. There was a New Year template. There's December and the holidays. There's holidays and December. All my templates are in here. Just keep scrolling down. Okay, if you get all the way down to the bottom, you'll find a grill, back to school, quick fix dinners, grilling, baking and stoneware. If you're running out of content, come here, click on any one of these, open it up, and you can use that content and plug it into your current template. Okay. Whew. What do you think? Helpful?
Helpful, a lot of information, but good.
Lot of info, lot of info. So what
Helpful and a lot.
it's a lot. Yes, it's a lot. Okay, so we're gonna take a breath. What did we do? We gave you kind of an overview why to do this. We talked about taking it slow as you're brand new. We talked about having a goal of working up to 4 parties at a time. This class is 3 weeks. Okay. There have been successful consultants who have joined us without ever getting benefit of this class. We just worked with them 1 week at a time. We plugged them into the party as a host. Even if they were a brand new consultant, they got to play the role of a host and see Friday through Thursday as a host. Then if they were feeling comfortable, we'd set up, because they got bookings from that party, we'd set up those parties to start the next Friday. If they weren't feeling comfortable, we'd have them be a host again and run through it again. Raise your hand if what I'm showing you looks familiar, because you've been a host and then you were a brand new consultant and you ran it a couple weeks. In general, 3 consecutive weeks of doing the exact same steps, you'll have it down. I've got some rock stars. Mary is here. She is a freaking rock star. She needed 1 week. She went and she just ran past all of us and she went onto YouTube to find all the trainings that I have done on this topic. And she absorbed all of those and then went and then she kept coming back to me and goes, where's more training? I want more, right? So this is really just dotting those I's and crossing those T's for Mary. Then you might have somebody who's just saw this and said, oh my gosh, this sounds fun, but they don't have as many technical skills or Facebook skills, or, you know, my superpower is being really fast on the computer. That's my thing. So, but if you need to do it a week after week after week, you go. That's fine. It's worth it. Is it worth it to you to be doing 4 parties a week for this time next month?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you guys watch. You will scream through this training because all of you are absorbing it at the same time, and I've dumped you all into this group where we're all going to go, da, 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 da. Okay? Your biggest challenge is going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. Okay, that's fine. Step back, turn it off, and then write down some questions and come back to it. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, let's do that. Let's have some questions. Okay, while I take notes. So, who's first?
Can I interrupt real quick, Shelley?
Sure.
I don't mean to be rude. I do have to get going. Is that okay? And
Sure.
Can we pick up after this? Because I thought we were going to be till 7 and I got something I got to go do.
No worries. That's fine. That's fine. Do you have a question?
No, I don't. I'm good for now. I
right.
appreciate it. And if I do, I'll message you later.
No problem. We'll have this recording, so go ahead. If you need to bug out, go right ahead. I will have to leave shortly too. But I'm looking for my last notes. Who else has questions? Hit me with your questions. And while you're doing that, while you're doing that, we want to hear from you and be thinking about and either put it in the chat, or if I get a chance to call on you, but definitely put it in the chat. What was the, oh my gosh, wow. What was the one thing that we hit that I need to pull those out? Because you might have been like, oh, light bulbs, and somebody missed it. And so this is my little technique for pulling out those wows to help reinforce everybody. So use the chat and put your best, what was the best tip you got today? Or if you don't get a chance to ask your questions, put those in there. We can follow up, and let me go ahead and take a couple questions. Go for it, guys. Who's got a
Hi, this is Trina.
Hi, Trina.
Hi, my juices started flowing a little, and I wondered if you had ever kind of gotten a group together, like maybe you thought of 4 people that have really funny personalities and are really competitive, and thought, have you ever thought of presenting? I mean, do you ever add competition into it? Is that something
most
you do?
definitely. So two answers to that. I had a gal once who kind of misunderstood, and she thought when I said Friday that the whole thing happened on Friday, and we were really just getting started, and she was freaking out because she thought that she was competing and she had to get it all done Friday, and then she got really mad and upset, and we had to kind of back up and go, hun, this is not a competition. This is just everybody, you know, so you have to know your group and be prepared. Just this morning, I had a gal who's supposed to start a fundraiser tomorrow, and she's like, I'm not doing this. Like, okay, that's fine. Thank you for the feedback. This is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Keep at it. But the competition, gosh, teammates on my team, who was it who just had a saucy version of a party? She took all of this and she did the most risque stuff, and oh my gosh, all the things that you shouldn't be posting publicly on Facebook was in that party. It was the most fun.
Gosh.
It was so cool. It was very fun.
I have stuff you can do with a garlic press.
Yeah, the Viagra into the orange juice. Yeah, I've heard that one, Michelle.
Oh no, the garlic press. So your doctor doesn't have this one. This is just a garlic press. It looks suspicious.
Right. So yeah,
Shelley?
what you kind of you're working with your group and kind of getting them they end up helping each other. You have people of all different levels, just like you guys right now, but you might have hosts who are all different levels. And before you're off, like I'm off playing volleyball, and my hosts are teaching each other how to copy paste and put a picture up. It's remarkable. Yes, Danny, question.
Thank you very much. First off, thank you for doing this. I'm looking forward to the next several weeks and learning. I'm in my 2nd week of parties. I have 3 going right now. Awesome. And I'm very happy to hear about Post My Party, because right now I'm using the notes section in my iPhone, and I'm just using Facebook Scheduler, and it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, huh? Yeah.
It's a lot of work. My question is about like doing the block parties. That scares me. For several reasons, but I guess, how do you know which hosts are adding whom to the party? Does it break? You don't. Okay.
Well, that's not entirely true. So when we get to next week, one of the parts that I'm going to cover next week is you go through a process where you do go into all the members, and I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to show you how I keep track. So when you first start, you don't know. You don't know. So I'll message the whole group and say, there are 5 of you. You guys together have invited 403 people, and we have 90 going. Our goal is for each of you to invite 300. Therefore, we're looking for 1,500 to be invited, right? With each of you 50 going. So we should have 250 going. So it gives them all a target, but they are, in the beginning, they're all lumped in together. So you need to keep your eye on it, and you can kind of see, like, if you know, Sally finally accepted the invite and she told you she started to invite, and you see your numbers pop up, you know, those folks in general that Sally's on it. And then you may go nudge Jane and say, Jane, how many people have you invited?
Do you encourage, I know you talked about the host and the guest survey, and I'm excited to see those. Thanks for sharing those. But do you encourage your hosts to coach your guests to create their profile in their party, to like register as a guest and start their wish list? Do you push that side of it?
I haven't. No, I haven't. So interesting. We're going to have to work on that, Danny. Yeah, good.
That's a good one.
So some people do submit a wish list, to me, right? There's a process by, like I'll do a early bird special for folks who place the orders before the weekend's over, and we do a drawing amongst folks who place an $80 order. And I'll tell them, if you want to keep shopping all week long, I'll just hold on to your order and let it, grow all week long. But if you submit $80 early, so things like that, but I haven't necessarily, and I do. Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the ideas I had, as like I said, I'm a brand new consultant, so I've been making a lot of notes. But one of the things that I want to do is I do want my hosts to get my guests into their party and register as hosts, or as guests rather, because I want to collect as much information and have wish lists. Because what I'm going to do as I'm contacting them as they're receiving their items is I want to say, hey, I want to do this with a phone call. And I don't know, I may get overwhelmed, but I want to say, hey, what's the contact number for your loved ones who are going to buy you Christmas presents? Because as you're building your wish list, this is what I'd like to offer them, the opportunity to, do your shopping off their wish list.
So as we proceed, I'll show you an easy way to do that via text message. Okay. And then we do have, there's one of the games that I play and it's got my phone number. It says text me. So because I want to be your consultant going forward. So it's a little game. You get a ticket. If you text me, here's my phone number. So there's different, you guys are super creative. You're going to run with this and find all kinds of great improvements to what I'm showing you.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Sure, Danny, no problem. Who else has a question?
I do, if I'm not jumping in ahead of somebody.
I'll tell you.
Somebody's talking about competition. Some of you may or may not, well, Sharon Zellen is a superstar in the company. And when she first started, she was doing events, but she was doing kind of block party events. So you could translate this to groups, but she would tell her host, we have a competition. The person with the most orders gets an additional 5% in free products from me. And she said, my average party is $1,100. So that could be $55 more on your order.
Awesome.
I've got her outline saved.
Oh, great. Share that in the group. Yeah. I actually just recently, where's Christine? Because I think she taught us this, but you can do polls. There's things you can do in groups that you can't do in events. In other words, same with Post My Party. Post My Party won't post into events. And Facebook does not want you to do business in events. That's why we do groups. And there's ways you can go back to those groups then hey guys, by the way, here's the specials for this month, or just checking. How's everybody loving your products 2 months later? That's a great way to do that. But there is a poll option. If you've ever done a poll in a group, and we put all the hosts in the poll and we said, we're going to have a little bit of friendly competition. Click on your host so we know how many people your host invited. Oh. And the host by the end of the party who has invited the most gets their free shipping for free. That's $5.25. That's well worth it. So those have taken off. That's a really great interactive thing. Other questions? When can we expect the templates, verbiage, etc.? As soon as I have dinner with my family and post them in the party. Okay. Next, any other questions?
Not a question, but a comment. Is there anybody else here that's on direct ship now?
I am.
Okay. Have you done the on direct ship now? Because I changed how I can. Because if you do an early bird, if they order ahead of time, you can't see what their order is because
that's directors and above pretty much. So
never mind. Thank you.
No worries. But you guys, because I am direct ship now is where our orders ship instantly. So as you're looking at my templates, look for anywhere, it's not frequent, but look for anywhere that says, my orders ship immediately right to your doorstep, and change that terminology to say, my orders ship at the end of the party right to your doorstep, okay? But there's very few of us on direct ship now. We're working towards getting it the whole company, okay? But right now it's just directors and above. Any other questions before? Is this helpful? My aha tonight was the host poll. That's good. Thanks, guys. I got to go. Looking forward to next week. Diane said, templates, I'm looking through this. Okay, so there was a lot. Where do you go from here? If you are brand spanking new and this was all brand new, connect with your recruiter and your director and host a party starting Friday and be a host. You get to get the host rewards and the consultant rewards. Sound good? Okay. And then we can learn together and we'll run it through a week. I've had several people tell me their first block parties are starting tomorrow. That's awesome. If you would like, somebody post and tag me. If you want me to set up a thread on the group or a Facebook message where I put my comments and my guidance, my daily posts to my hosts in there for you guys to experience it, I'll make one of those, a little test Facebook host group for you. And you guys, I can plug anybody who's ready to see that, and we can run that this week. And so you can see what I give you, what I give my hosts to post. That makes sense? Okay.
Shelley, can I ask you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sure, that's fine. The last thing I'm going to say is that if you are just super excited and you want to start going with this, yeah, we're going to have 2 more weeks of learning, right? But your job is to book parties. Okay, today is the 4th, tomorrow's the next Friday, it's the 5th, it's too late. You're filling the next Friday. Friday the 12th and Friday the 19th are the 2 days that you are filling. So you make your little sheet like this, mark the dates, mark the host, and you start booking parties. If you haven't seen that training that I did on how to do the bookings and how to track it, go watch that. It's in the Facebook, it's in the party page. Who's having lots of background noise? Okay, so we covered a lot. This is, are you excited or are you overwhelmed?
Excited.
I'm excited and overwhelmed.
Okay.
I'm super excited.
You gonna come back next week?
Oh, yeah.
Secret sauce so I can teach you these amazing tips and techniques for how to get bookings and recruits and make it just smooth and seamless. Sound good? That's what we're gonna do next
Absolutely.
week. Awesome. All right, I am going to save the chat. I'm going to turn off the recording. I'm going to thank each of you for your undivided attention and your questions. Keep those questions coming. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all this time next week. Sound good?
Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks a lot, guys.